Another edition of Tanya Talks. I'm your host, Tanya Ricketts, and joining me tonight is my cousin all the way from Jamaica, Michelle Atkinson Williams. Welcome.
Thank you, Tanya. Happy to be here.
Yes, it's going to be a fun one for us tonight. We've been having a lot of offline conversations, and one of the, it was about your WTF. Michelle is, I'm going to just share with the audience really quickly. Michelle is the co-founder of WTF. And I thought it was hilarious, comical. And what it means is what the 50, right? So it's so fitting because at 50, 40, 50, you're kind of like, yeah, what WTF? But it's so fitting from the perspective of what the 50, but what the bleep.
We'll say 50 for this show, right?
Right. We'll have fun. So what I like about it is, what happens is there's a level of freedom that comes along with it, and it's fitting with the campaign that we did with I Am Free. And what happens to us when we wake up to the truth of who we are and we're set free. So, lead in with what created that narrative for you in order to create WTF.
So Tanya, first of all, I'm really happy to be here, and I'm thankful that you're doing this show because everybody has a story, and it's just perfect this time where we can be so many miles apart, but we can share our stories with others and learn from them, and that's what this is all about.
Absolutely.
So for me, I grew up in Jamaica, as you know. I'm born Jamaican, love my country. I was adopted at 5. And I lived a great life with my parents. I mean, I went to a great school. I went to university here in Jamaica. I enjoyed my childhood. I had fantastic cousins. I had 2 cousins from Canada that came. We did all kinds of things together.
I wonder who those cousins were.
My 2 cousins from Canada. And I really enjoyed growing up. And I did everything that I was supposed to do. I had, 2 great parents. And although I grew up as an only child, I enjoyed my childhood, but as in a box. I did all the things that my parents expected me to do, or what I thought they expected me to do. I went to a good school. I went to university. I became a professional. I studied education. So I followed the rules. I did everything by the book, and I stayed in that box. But I felt throughout the years, there's this butterfly inside. There's this butterfly that's wrapped up that needs to come out. But I still went along and I followed the rules and I did all the things that I was supposed to do. And I became a wife, and I tried my very best to be that perfect wife. I became a mom. I tried my best to be that perfect mom. As a teacher, I wanted to be that perfect teacher. And then there was 2020. And I thought, everything got quiet. Everybody got quiet. We had time to be with ourselves, to listen to ourselves. I decided, what? It's Netflix and snacks. But I said, no, I cannot come out of COVID the same or fatter. I'm going to come out of COVID better. Some way, somehow, I have to do something. I have to make sure that at the end, whenever COVID is going to end, we don't know. But I actually thought it was going to finish pretty quickly, but it's not. I have to be a better person, some way, somehow. And so I decided I have to refocus. I have to recalibrate. And in doing that, I felt rejuvenated. I looked at my life and I said, what am I doing? I have tried my best to be my best, but is it really my best? Who is the best for? And I also looked at my 2 children. I have 2 boys, one 22, one 14, as you know. And my boys, I often say to them, listen, be your best student, be your best whatever you want to be. But I wasn't doing that for myself. So while I was telling them to do it, I wasn't doing it.
We do it all the time, don't we?
Yes, we do that. We always tell everybody else, we pour into everybody else, we lift everybody else up, and then we're left.
Right.
I look at my 2 boys, and one of them has done my older son, has done a short film in the pandemic. My younger son has started a business in the pandemic. And I'm telling them to do all of these things, and they're doing it. And they're doing what they think is best for them during this time. Nothing is stopping them. What's stopping me? Why am I not doing it as well? I looked in the mirror and I thought, I don't think I like what I'm seeing. I need to lose some weight. I need to be healthy. So I started walking. I changed my diet. I didn't go crazy with it, I still eat nonsense every now and again, but I became very conscious. I decided I'm going to make a deliberate decision to be deliberate. I'm going to watch what I'm eating. I'm going to exercise as much as I can. I also decided to read. Every single year, I'd write down my list of things to do. And to read more books was always on the list. Did I read the books halfway? Didn't do it. Buy the books? Didn't do it. And I decided to start reading. And I read Shonda Rhimes' A Year of Yes.
Yes.
And I thought, yes, this is my year of yes. After I read that, and I was blown away by her book, just blown away by her story. And after that, I decided to read Becoming, Michelle Obama. I was double blown away with her story. And I thought, I'm not comfortable with who I am and where I am right now. I have to be. I absolutely have to be comfortable with who I am. I have to become and be happy that I'm here. And I'm the only one that can do that. I have to take charge. I have to be deliberate. I have to decide what I want to do and do it, not for anybody else, but for myself. And so that process started.
And it takes a lot of courage for that to happen too.
Absolutely does, because you know what? You have to become vulnerable to do it. You have to rip away all of those layers. So in the middle of COVID, when you're told to put on that mask, I said, I'm taking this mask off because I need to see who is Michelle. I have to become my authentic self. I can't tell my children to do it, and I'm not doing it. Because over the years, I hid behind a lot of things. The layers started coming on, the mask was there, and I looked perfect, maybe, I hope, to the rest of the world, but I wasn't perfect for myself. And guess what? To the rest of the world, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be. It's okay. But I had to get to that point where I said, it's okay. So when I went to high school, I was always known as a girl with her hair in one and not a strand is out of place. I'd come home and rewrite my notes because I had to look perfect. My uniform was perfect. Everything was always perfect. And that's how
it helps that you're in the West Indies, because I've been to school in the West Indies, and it helps when you have to, you get at least back, I don't know what the West Indies is.
Still the same.
You went into your groups.
Yes.
The Lord's Prayer, national anthem, and the teacher walked up and down the aisles to see if your uniform was pressed.
Exactly the same.
Wow.
Exactly the same, Tanya. But I said, you know what? What's important to me is just being my authentic self. And I remember in 2019, I went to Florida, and a friend of mine, we had gone to the mall. She wanted me to just go with her to just see some things. We weren't really shopping. And I had brought this really cute little dress because we were supposed to go out for dinner after. But time went by. I didn't get to go back to change and shower and get the hair done and everything and put on the cute little dress. She said, okay, since we're here, let's just have dinner. I'm like, no, we can't have dinner now. I need to go home and put on my cute little dress. And she says, Michelle, you don't have to be perfect all the time.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely correct. And I was there in the airport clothes, and we had a great time because we didn't have to waste time to go home, to get dressed, to come back. We were already there.
Right.
We actually had more time together, quality time. And it really spun up something in my mind that I don't have to be perfect all the time. It's okay. So I had to get that
spontaneous living in the moment.
Yes.
There is a sense of freedom.
Absolutely.
In that.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell you this now. The irony of it is that I have discovered that I'm actually a free spirit. And I think the times that we spent together when you came to Jamaica, yourself and Tracy, I'm sure you saw that side of me. I'm out of Kingston. I'm in Montego Bay. We're at a reggae show. We're on our own, doing our own thing. And I'm sure you saw another side of me because I actually am free spirited. And I listened
Right.
to persons when they're talking about their lives and what they do and how they do it. And I'm saying, I just had to get to that point where I accepted that this is who I am. I listened to
I have to tell this story.
we
I
had
have
Paige
to tell
on
this
one second. We
story.
had Paige on the other day, right?
Yeah.
Weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Paige talked about, Paige is our niece, and Paige talked about being a free spirit.
Mm-hmm.
She is that.
Really is.
She really is that free spirit. But
Yeah.
I also have that. I also have that free spirited. And I wasn't allowed to, and I'm not pointing any fingers or anything. I'm just saying, it's just how it is. Because back then, growing up in Jamaica, free spirit, what?
Right.
What
It doesn't
exactly
happen.
is that? You better go do what you're told to do.
Right.
You know, and interestingly, also, I allow my children to be themselves. I do my best in allowing them to be themselves. And I have learned a lot from them. Many times they've come to me, Mom, I'm going to do so and so. I'm like, oh, I don't think so. And they get it done. They get it done. And I end up feeling so very proud. And I've learned from them to allow the process to take place.
Right.
It will happen. It will happen. And you don't have to, whereas I believe in following the rules, we have to live by some amount of rules. I don't think we have to change our personalities or deny who we really are for that.
So let's look at that one. I want to explore that one for a minute. Is it the rules or putting some structure in place? Because I hear rules and I'm telling you, so this is what I love about the show Being Candid is we get to explore, because I'm not sure I'm resolved with it. So maybe you can help me in this moment.
Right.
Is it rules or the structure? Because when I hear rules, I get guarded from the perspective of like, I feel jailed. I feel
there's structure. I can change that to structure. I think structure is important.
Is it? No, I'm asking the question.
Some amount of structure is important for us to exist, right?
Because for me, I'm triggered. I'm like, rules. The minute I hear rules, I'm like,
the red flags go up. The red
100%.
flags go up. But we have, I mean, we don't want to live in a chaotic society, right? So rules have their place.
Right.
But I'm saying that I think we tend to, I think human nature, we do it with our children as well.
Right.
We create that box for them. We create a box for ourselves.
Yes.
And I'm saying that there's no need to do that.
Right.
There is no need to do that. We need to what box? I don't see the box. Because we're not allowing ourselves to be authentic.
Right.
And so I felt I didn't have a voice for many, many years because, and I'll loosely say I followed the rules. But when I started to really think it through and I'm saying, okay, I'm here now. Who is Michelle? That's a question I kept asking. Who is Michelle? Where is Michelle? What is Michelle doing with herself? I've done a lot of things, but what is Michelle doing for herself? And I'm going to have an emptiness pretty soon, right? And it's a question that comes about for a lot of women at this stage too. You know, you're busy doing so many things. You're busy. And that's one of the good things. I mean, COVID is absolutely the worst thing that could have happened to us. But at the same time, good can come out of it. We have to find some sort of silver lining.
We're making lemonade with our lemons.
We have to, limoncello. But, and I said, listen, this thing is here, right? I'm not going to sit on the couch. I'm not going to do it. I refuse to do it. So here is a time I'm not busy. I'm forced to slow down. Let me make something. Let me do something. Let me have another chapter to this story. Let me change the narrative. So I spent a lot of time reading and listening and planning and have lots of sheets of paper with things written down on it, which I've done for many years, but it stays on the paper. And this time I decided, no, it's not staying on the paper. I'm doing for Michelle. And I'm really happy that my friend Nikki came up with the idea of the podcast. But Nikki is also a little over 50. And we have similar stories. And we thought there are lots of women, and it's not just for 50-year-old women.
Right.
It's for anyone who wants to take away the nuggets that we have. We have the experience, and that teaches, that has taught us, and that has made us a little wiser, having gone through certain experiences. And we want to say to you, look, you don't have to do it that way. Here's another way. You know what I mean? These are the things that we just didn't know about. I mean, we knew, we just didn't do it for whatever reason. But here we are. And it's just another perspective, another way of doing things. And life is shorter than we realize. Life is short. And this is it. We have no other, I can't erase this and write another story.
When people start talking about past lives and present lives, I'm like, guys, can we stay present in this life?
No, we're staying present right now.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? When you said that, I was happy you said
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. This is it.
It's like you have one life, and this is the only life I know. I don't know about the past life. I don't
absolutely.
know about the
There's no dress rehearsal.
No, this is all I know.
I could rewrite my notes at school.
Right.
And put really nicely in my books, but I can't rewrite my life. I can write it. I can change the chapters at the end. I can change who's going to end. I can change some of it.
The trajectory for
I can, exactly.
Right.
And that's what I want. That's what I'm doing. I am putting myself into it. I am being intentional because I'm not allowing the chapters to just be written for me as they were before. I'm writing those chapters.
I love it.
And my story actually, which we'll get into at another time, maybe part 2. My story is quite interesting, and there are lots of facets to it, and you know, there are lots of chapters and things. But I'm so thankful for the experiences that I've had, because those experiences have brought me here. And yes, there are tears along the way, and there are things I get annoyed myself. Why didn't I do it differently? And there are things I've enjoyed. But every single thing that I've gone through, every single thing has allowed me to spread my wings. Everything that I experienced was another color on my wings. I have beautiful wings now.
Oh, congrats.
As a butterfly, I have beautiful wings because of all the different experiences that I've had. And I'm determined to make sure that my ending chapters are what I want them to be. You know, and I'm just hoping that younger women and even women at 50 can stop and listen and say, look, I want to be my authentic self. I want to live. And I mean, I know we have all these buzzwords now, living your best life, blah, blah, blah. But let's just live our best lives. Let's really live our best lives. We're told, you know, when you're growing up, what profession do you want to be? I want to be a lawyer, doctor, whatever. Be the best lawyer, be the best doctor, be the best teacher. How about being your best self?
It's so underrated. Like you are right. They're buzzwords. And I just don't feel that we're given the tools nor the proper guidance to really navigate through what that looks like. Because I know we've had offline conversations where there's so much depth to, and anybody that knows me knows that mine came from my dad. Seek ye the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all will be added to you. And what that meant for me was study thyself, know thyself, and unlock the window to your soul. And that is where the real wealth is we're not taught at a young age on how to become curious about who we are.
Absolutely.
And we're not given the vocabulary to understand how to express what that feeling is of truth. You said butterflies earlier on, like you felt like you had butterflies because you weren't living that authentic self. And I have to tell this story if I could, that demonstrates the box.
Right.
So Michelle and I have history. To the audience out there, we have history. We have our own separate, like, you know, it's funny, you can be family, different countries, and know each other but not know each other. And going back and forth to Jamaica for me meant I would frequent seeing Michelle, but not necessarily spending time with you, right? And every time I saw you, it was very, very proper, very this. And to my sister and I, it was like, he. So here we are as teenagers showing up to Jamaica. You know, we were given the opportunity to go to Jamaica to have a break from the abuse that my sister and I were enduring. over here, we show up in Jamaica, and we're now going to spend our entire 2 weeks at your house. And we're thinking, great, right? We want to have fun. We don't want to sit in the box, but we're again.
You're telling me this how many years later, Tanya?
Right, really. We don't want to stay in this box. But again, we're not given the vocabulary to understand it. We just know that it doesn't feel right. We want to go have fun. So Michelle decides, I'm going to take them to Reggae Sunsplash in Montego Bay. We're in Kingston. All right. We don't want to go with Michelle, because if this is what it's going to look like, we're not going. And Michelle's like, no, come. And we're like, no. Anyways, needless to say, we ended up going. And we had the time of our life. Reggae bed, right? We saw a side of you at Reggae Sunsplash.
Right.
But we were like, what happened to the girl that was prim and proper?
Where is she?
Right. And the minute we went back after that was, gotta go back. All right. But it was like almost like a secret, like, all right, don't say what happened there. What happened in Vegas?
It stays there. Exactly. And it stayed there, right?
It did.
It stayed right.
We had the best time.
Yeah. So I did too. Oh
my gosh. Like, we won't talk about what happened there, but it was a day and night difference. I'm like, my sister and I, Tracy and I were like, who would have known? And it was pulling teeth to get us to go, because we were like, oh, no, we're not trying this.
But I'm glad I pulled those teeth, because we had a blast.
Oh, we absolutely did. And that's the lesson, right?
Yeah.
You're given the opportunity to be in an environment that allows you to be free.
Yes.
What can happen and what can take place. So if we nurtured children from a young age to explore to be creative,
yes.
The innovation and everything that comes out of that exploration, those are the years that we should be nurturing it, not confining it, right?
Absolutely. And as I said to you, no, we can do that with our children.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't taught to us.
Right.
So we can now allow our children, which is really, really important. We need to allow them to understand who they are, explore themselves, and be comfortable with who they have become. And it's not something that happens overnight. It takes time. You're gonna get burnt. You're gonna fall down, bruise your knee, but you have to get up and keep going, because you know who you are and you know what you're working towards. And nobody can shake you.
And you start to discover that you're a bigger risk taker than you realize. We have somebody writing in a little heart. Lolo, thank you for tuning in. We have somebody writing in. One of us must have made a comment that she's, you're commenting on Lolo. So thank you for tuning in. But yeah, sorry, finish what you were saying.
No, that's it. I'm just speaking about the importance of having gone through what we went through.
Yes.
Right? We have to now ensure that our children are allowed. We have to allow them. We have to give them that freedom. I have tried that with my boys. I mean, I'm sure there are times that I have said, look, you better go sit in a box, because that's what I know. And they have said, no, Mom, box? What box? You know what I'm saying? But I know, because I've been socialized that way, I have to now change my thinking, change the narrative, and make sure that my children express who they are in whatever way they express who they are, and they become young men who can make that contribution.
Right.
In an authentic way, because this is who they are.
Right. And it's easier to be, especially, I'm going to say for anybody listening in, it's easier to sit in a box in a West Indian atmosphere. It doesn't matter, not necessarily Jamaica, because the culture itself, it's almost, like a lot of other cultures, certain cultures, where obedience and respect are high on the totem pole.
Absolutely.
So, there is no room for a voice.
No.
There is no room. Everything is structured by the book. And if you come out of line, because I remember being in Jamaica in school, getting the strap.
Yep.
It was, line. You're right. You literally don't step out of the line.
Yes.
Otherwise, that's it. It's over.
Yeah. And you know what? I think it is what it is.
Right.
Okay. That's just how the Jamaican society was structured at that time. Things are changing, thankfully. And we're seeing so many young men and women expressing themselves in a way that's just unreal. And I love it. I love it. They have their voices. And I go back to my two children. I allow them to have that voice. When I was growing up, children were seen,
not heard.
Not heard. It was disrespectful. It was literally disrespectful. But as I said, I mean, I'm not knocking my parents.
But it was not even just your parents.
It was just how we were all socialized.
Right. And the neighbors, you know, it was a community effort.
Yes.
To ensure.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? As I said, wisdom is what I'm swallowing now based on my experiences. And I'm happy that I'm now at that stage in my life where I can say, I want to be heard. I want to be seen. And I have accepted who I am. And I'll tell you this, one of my sisters and we went to a hotel on the North Coast a few months ago. And normally I'd be, I can't go because I have to do this and I have to do that. And she said, Mish, let's go. I said, yep, let's go. She was actually surprised that I quickly said, let's go. And we were there for almost a week and we had an absolute blast. And one of the mornings she said to me, let's take some photos. I'm like, sure, I'll take your photos. And she says, no, I want to take yours. I'm like, no way. And she insisted. We did the photo shoot. I posted on Instagram, which I don't normally do. And the comments that I got was quite surprising. But at the same time, it felt good that I did this that I don't normally do and I was comfortable with it. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed just being myself. I enjoyed just feeling free, allowing myself to feel free in that moment. And every now and again, that literal physical feeling that I had in that hotel during that time with my sister, it comes back to me and I just break out into the biggest smile ever because it was just such a fantastic feeling.
Right.
You know?
So how do you sustain this? How does somebody sustain being in the space? Because as human beings, our natural response is, let's go back in the box, especially when we're triggered, you know, like I'm triggered by rules, right? I'm absolutely right.
Yeah.
What happens? The question becomes, how do we sustain it? Is there something that you find for yourself works?
It's a daily thing.
Okay.
It's literally every single day getting up and saying, I'm going to be my best today. It literally, I mean, I have to repeat some mantras. I have to be so deliberate. I have to be so conscious. Because you know what? For a long time, I unconsciously did a lot of things. And now I have to be conscious about it. How is my day going to be? How is my week going to be? How is my month going to be? At the end of the month, I have to look back and say, what have I done this month? What have I achieved? Am I better at the end of the month than I was at the beginning? Maybe yes, maybe no. But at least I'm trying. Right. All the time it doesn't work, you know, because there's it takes a lot.
Well, we're always like, you know, I like the scientific aspect that we're always looking, our bodies are always looking to, if the tree grew this way, and it's working to straighten it up, it's always looking to go back to where
it's easier. That's what we know. That's a comfort zone. That's a comfort zone.
You know, you continuing to challenge it to be straight. Yes. And you stand taller when you're straight versus hunched over. Right. So what did you find? Like share with us. Did you find that there was a freedom that all of a sudden to this day that you found that you felt felt empowered to use your voice? Like, you know, I like how, is it Meghan Markle says, we don't find our voices. We've always had a voice. We've just never had the space to use our voice. Do you find using your voice is easier now?
Everything takes practice.
Okay.
And initially I didn't. I found it very hard to use my voice. I'm not supposed to. But I was determined. And in expressing myself, I used to write a lot of poems. and I found I'd put my voice on paper. And that was, I was expressing myself on paper. But then I started to realize that I can lift it off the paper and I can literally express myself and be comfortable with it. It's all about being comfortable, you know. But you don't want to be comfortable and stay in that comfort zone. You have to challenge yourself or you'll never ever grow. But once you get to another level, you feel better. You move to another level, you feel better. You move to another level.
Was there any conflicts? Like, did you find there were conflicts within your environment as you started to allow yourself to become free?
Thankfully, no.
Good.
I want to tell you, my family, they have always encouraged me. Mom, why don't you do so and so? Michelle, why don't you do so and so? I don't think so. And I think they're all very happy to see that finally I've gotten up, I've dusted myself off, and I've chosen. I mean, I had a huge setback 10 years ago. At the time, I lost a sister to cancer. And during that, just before she died, I was just spreading the wings. I was just lifting the wings out. Because she gave me that, she was that wind that was allowing those wings to spread and allow me to fly. I was just getting them out. And she died. And that was a major setback for me. That was 10 years ago. This year is 10 years. And for 10 years, pretty much, I just stayed on the comforter. And my children kept saying, Mom, you need to do so-and-so for you. You need to do so-and-so for you. And you know what? When you hear things from your children, it resonates with you.
Yes.
Because you think they don't see things. You think they don't hear things, but they do. And it really opened my eyes that I have to get up. I have to dust myself off. And I have to live. Because as I said before, this is it. This is it. And I had to, and a part of becoming free, I had to remove a lot of the things that were placed on me over the years. I had to remove it. I had to shed it. I had to bring new life to myself. But I had to do it. Nobody can do it for me. I had to do it. No self-help book, no therapy, no nothing. And they have their place, you know, because I've read a lot of self-help books. I've gone to therapy. Therapy is important. But when I need therapy, it's up to me to get it done. I have to.
Well, what's that saying? You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it.
Absolutely.
Like you can get there and get all the help, but at the end of the day, it's you personally.
And let me tell you, I started to lap that water. I started to lap that water last year, and I'm saying no. And it's not a midlife crisis. It's not that. I just had quiet time. I was not busy doing all kinds of things. I just had quiet time. And I remember in economics, when I went to high school, one of the things we learned in economics about opportunity cost. And I thought, what is the opportunity cost of being so busy with everybody else? Here I am. I had to make that change. And becoming quiet forced me to think, I need to make some changes. And I'm the only one that can do it. Nobody can do it for me. And and the thing is, I've always wanted to make the change, you know, but I found excuses because guess what? I'm comfortable. I don't have to ruffle any feathers. I'm comfortable right here. I'm being
and it's easy because we're taught, like when you hear the narrative of the obedience, it actually drives that message that we don't know how to receive. So we're taught to give, but we don't know how to receive. And I say the most unselfish thing if somebody can learn how to do is to learn how to receive.
Absolutely.
We create an imbalance in society. Like if you go deeper from the deeper perspective of, you know, energy goes in, one hand comes out. Yes, one hand to give, one hand to give, one hand to receive.
Yes.
We create an imbalance within our bodies, within society, and then with those around us when we're not able to balance it. And what we have to balance out is the receiving. So that comfort, when you say to me comfort, what I hear is that I'm comfortable giving, but I'm not actually allowing something to come in. I have somebody writing in, we need to go for coffee. I love what you were saying.
I'm ready. I'm ready. And Jamaica has the best coffee. I'm ready.
Right. So that's Dr. Shaw Ray. She's writing in saying that. So she said
I need to send her some Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee.
Okay. I can get it to her. I know who she is.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's just like, that's what I hear is to step out of our comfort zone.
We have to.
Means that Michelle now has to learn how to receive on
Yes.
so many levels. She has to learn how to receive the truth of who she is, and then be able to live that truth in everyday society.
And it's for me.
Right.
It's for me. And
so we got somebody else saying, me too. She wants Lolo Jennings too. So we got two Blue Mountain coffees.
Take a list. We'll write the list.
One going to Texas and one coming to Canada. Okay.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. We have FedEx worldwide.
Right.
But we have to do this. It's so important. As I said, we just have to find that strength. It takes courage, and it takes a lot of strength to take the mask off. Because wearing that mask every day, we're hidden behind it. Nobody has to really know what's going on. But guess what? I'm going to talk about myself. I didn't know what was going on either, because I chose not to face it. Doing what I was doing every single day was comfortable. There was no challenge, but there was also no growth. I became stagnant, and I was just existing. No, that's not life. That's not living. There's so much more to it. There's so much more. And I'll tell you, when I made that conscious decision last year that I'm going to be the best version of myself for myself, a whole different vibe, I think, was coming out of my pores. I think just literally stepping out. And the good thing about COVID, it gave me some time to really understand myself within the confines of my house, because we're not going anywhere. So now is the time to do this.
That's a whole other show.
Exactly. But the good thing is, it gave me the time to experiment with my thoughts, and to really narrow down. And it's a work in progress, I'm not finished with the narrowing down thing, but I'm consciously doing it because I'm determined that when this COVID thing is over and Michelle steps out, right, and shows up, the world is gonna whoa.
Right. It's gonna be Jamaica reggae sunsplash all over
again. Exactly. But the thing is, the world might say wow, but I would have already known that this is who I really am.
You're preparing for that opportunity.
I have already accepted.
Yes.
This is me. It's for them to accept. This is me, but I have accepted who I am. And until we get to that point of accepting ourselves, the struggle will continue.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We have to get to that point where, and guess what? During high school, I was teased a lot because of my adoption. I was teased a lot. And so I questioned myself all the time. Who am I? And why am I being teased? And am I from another planet? All these questions I would ask myself, and it affected my self-esteem. So I had to talk to myself when I got older, obviously. I mean, when I'm growing up, there's so many questions. And as a teenager, it's really hard because you're trying to figure out your teenage self. And then all these other things are going on. It's really, really hard. But as I got older, I got to that stage where I didn't know to say it back then, to say to them, look, this is who I am. Forget about you. If you don't accept me, that's your problem. I didn't know that. I didn't have that in me. But now I can. And saying that on this live, I don't know how many persons are watching the live and they may say, whoa, Michelle is adopted, really? I don't care anymore. I can say it and feel, you're my cousin, and we have accepted each other without even thinking about that. What does that piece of paper mean? It means nothing because we're family.
Right. And
I am who I am.
I was just more concerned about you being obedient, and I wanted to be a rebel. you know,
and then you realize that I was actually a rebel
I
too.
was a rebel, right? I'm telling you.
A bigger rebel.
Yes, we were that reggae sunsplash because it was the old reggae sunsplash in Montego Bay, not the new one in Kingston.
Right.
And I think it was the last year, and
It was the last one.
was there. I'm gonna age myself here live,
Yep.
but Albie Shore and his brother were there,
Yep.
and we were just
we were right onto the stage.
just
right onto the stage.
Steve Marley, Ziggy was there. All of them were there.
Stars were there.
It was just amazing. And
don't forget, we were backstage too. We had one armband.
Right.
Okay, let's not get to that. Let's not.
We did a little bandulu to get.
Yeah. But let's keep it right there. That what happened in Moby stays in Moby.
Right. But it was the lesson, I guess, for me in that after so the story to the live audience is that we had lost touch for so many years going through our own stuff.
Yes, life happened.
Right. And we reunited, and as we started to share the stories, we learned things that we didn't know before. Because at 14, you're not talking about this stuff.
No.
But the lesson in that was in that moment in time, in that stillness in time, we were living free. There was no grown-ups. There was nothing.
Just us.
We were free.
Just us.
With not a care in the world. There was no, it was just a beautiful thing. And it was like you wanted to recreate that. And you you spend your lifetime looking to recapture the feeling, maybe not necessarily the event, but
the
that
feeling, that euphoria.
Right.
Absolutely. But you know what? I need to add here, Tanya, that what has also helped with my feeling free is understanding, because that's one of the questions I asked growing up. Where did Michelle come from? And I also want to bring in a little bit of my story here. When I met my siblings, I felt that I was now able to identify with my family. And that in and of itself was another moment of freedom, of feeling free. I now could release the shackles of the questions that
had you in bondage.
Correct. Yeah. I could now release those. I could I met my siblings. I could see our similarities. We could share stories. And that helped me to understand a little bit more about myself. And the beautiful thing about that story is my adopted family, my biological family, we're blended now. We're blended. We're just one huge family.
Yes.
And so, all of us have a story. I'm happy to say that I have a story that continues to be a happy one. It continues to be a happy story. And I will try my very, very best to make sure that my last chapters are written by me and they're happy ones. And everybody's definition of happy differs.
It's personal.
Yeah. What's happy for me, what makes me happy, what makes my wings flutter will be in those chapters. Because my wings have to flutter. They have to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because when you're filled, you have so much more to share with the world.
Yes.
When you're filled.
Yes. And that's what I'm experiencing now. And that's where the voice also comes in. So I no longer have to stay in the corner and watch everybody going by and wondering, oh my gosh, I want to go out there and dance in the rain too. I can say, okay, my hair doesn't have to be perfect. It can get wet. Let's go dance in the rain. It's all right. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy the moment. And these are moments that we have to create for ourselves. And every single time we have that moment, this is how we can go back and feel that feeling that we had in Montego Bay how many years ago.
Yes.
Every single time we create a moment for ourselves, we can feel it in our hearts because there's so much other things that helps to make the day crazy.
Yes.
So many other things that just can help to kind of make it a little bit sad along the way, especially now with COVID. But when you can hold on to those moments and you literally feel yourself feeling free in that moment, it takes you from one level to the next. And we just have to be conscious about it. We have to. And it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can be something very small.
Very
That's
small.
crashing.
Right. Right.
But we have to be conscious about it,
Right.
because this is it. This is it.
One life. We have one life.
One life.
And it's nice, I don't know what happens, with, we're going to talk about WTF. Like, I don't know what happened. I mean, I'm not 50 yet.
You have a long way to go, Tanya.
Oh, of course. I'm yeah. But I don't, there's just something that happens. I don't know if we get mentally exhausted of repeating the same stuff over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say just something goes off in women at a certain age where we're just, I don't know if the jar is too filled because we've compounded so much crap over the years,
mm-hmm.
that it's almost like this explosion, but a good explosion. It's like we just don't WTF.
Yeah. Exactly. We just want to be free.
Right. And
so what happens, Tanya, because there's so many responsibilities and we're socialized in a particular way. So you have to do this by a certain time, you have to do that by a certain time, you have to do that by a certain time. And then you get to a point where you're saying, okay, I've checked all the boxes. What's next?
Right. And you can check all those boxes and realize that you're still not happy and you still don't feel free.
But you're not even on that list.
Ah, yes. Okay.
You're not even on that list.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing it for everybody else. And that's okay, it's okay to be doing for others, but we have to create that balance. Mm-hmm. We have to do for ourselves. When you're on that aircraft and the oxygen mask falls, what do they tell us every single time? Put yours on first.
Mm-hmm.
You can't help anybody else if you don't.
Right.
That eventually, when you're pouring into everybody else, your cup gets empty. And it's okay to pour. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. But we also, as you said before, we have to receive. Mm-hmm. Because our cup cannot go dry. Mm-hmm. We're no use if it is, right?
And don't we, it's like leaders, real leaders teach others how to be leaders.
Absolutely.
Real helpers help other people learn how to keep their glass full.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not about us depositing in them from the perspective. Yes. It's showing them, empowering them to take control and personal responsibility on how yes. they create that reality.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's how we keep the world going. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? As I said, this doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, and it takes conversations like this to keep it going, because other women are probably listening to this, and men too. When, and they will become part of the village, because mm-hmm. the conversation will keep going. Mm-hmm. And you realize that you're not alone. You know what I mean? And I think that's an important fact, that you're not alone. You have support. You can get it done. You can help others to get it done. Mm-hmm. Keep that ball rolling. Mm-hmm.
It's nice to stand beside somebody, and after you have gone through it, like after Michelle has gone through and empowered mm-hmm. herself in a given area, and to stand mm-hmm. alongside somebody and encourage and help them.
Absolutely.
Have that same feeling. I remember when, I was learning how to have a voice, like to use my voice, not even to find my voice, to use my voice.
Right.
And I remember how scared I was, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, to even think I'm on a talk show today, it's been mind-blowing. Had this been years ago.
Right.
I couldn't do a talk show like I would, people are gonna judge and this and the whole story that you create out of that. But it wasn't that, it was using my voice to express what I liked or what I didn't like. Mm-hmm. So it's simple as going out for a dinner or choosing a restaurant to go to. The freedom of saying, actually, no, that's not where I
want to go to that one. Yeah.
No, and be okay with that.
Be okay with
and, it. This is where it actually, and to find that, to use the voice to say, but this is what I do want.
Right.
And I remember it being uncomfortable in the very beginning doing that. But as I started to practice that and develop the muscles that it was okay, how liberated I felt, that it's okay for me to, yeah, like it doesn't always have to be about everybody else. Like I can be in the equation as well.
Absolutely.
Where this week it might be your turn and next week it can be mine. But it was always somebody else, it was never me in that.
But we have to get to that consciousness though.
Right.
We have to get to that point where we say, well, I actually don't want Chinese.
Yes.
It's really not healthy for me. I really want to, go to a salad bar.
Right.
And that's what I want.
I'll take the Chinese.
Especially Jamaican Chinese, right? Jamaican Chinese is the best in the world, I tell you. But it's important to really understand, and these are choices that we are allowed. We need to allow ourselves to make. Just like when I looked in the mirror and I said, I'm not happy what I'm seeing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's nobody saying to me, oh, Michelle, you're too fat. Oh, Michelle, you're too skinny. It's just me. I wanted to lose some weight. And in that process, I wanted to become healthy.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure that I'm eating the right things. And I tell you, I would go off sometimes, but I come right back. And a lot of things I thought I'd never be able to do without, I don't feel for them anymore because I made a conscious choice. Mm-hmm. And I made that choice for myself. No, and that in and of itself is freedom.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever had that freedom happen to you where you look in the mirror and that freedom of, gosh, I love myself? Have you ever had that freedom?
You know what? That took, how old am I? I won't tell you.
Okay.
Many, many years. Many years. I've never looked in the mirror and thought, oh, wow, you're not bad looking at all. Or I like what I see. I just never did that. I mean, I'm not spending hours looking at myself in the mirror, no. But because I know that I have made conscious decisions that are good for me, I can now look in the mirror and see the difference and be happy with that. You may look in the mirror and say, oh, Michelle, really? But I'm looking in the mirror and I made a decision and I am happy with my results because I'm doing it for myself. Mm-hmm. And it's I remember growing up, I had a friend who said, Michelle, you have to grow a selfish bone. I never knew what that meant. I never understood it. I did not understand it for many, many years. And it's not about selfish in the way that we understand selfish to be. It's just about putting yourself first sometimes. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. And the self-love. How am I going to tell someone else to love me if I am not loving myself? I have to love myself first. And it's all of these things that help to make me feel free. Because I'm no longer thinking and judging myself. Sometimes we're our biggest critics. Mm-hmm. I'm no longer judging myself because mm-hmm. I'm now comfortable with who I am. I look in the mirror and I'm saying, this is Michelle. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a day that everything changed. Mm. When I thought, I can now comfortably look at myself. I'm not talking about the physical self.
It's the whole encompassing, the
absolutely
soul, everything.
Yes.
I'm gonna. We have Lola writing in, that type of freedom never comes easy. It is intentional. Allowing ourselves the space to appreciate ourselves and our growth is our right. I like that.
Absolutely. And that growth is critical.
Yes.
We cannot stay in any water that sits for too long becomes what? Stagnant. And stagnant is good.
And murky.
We have to grow. We have to grow.
I like the way she put it's our right.
It is.
Yes.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
But a lot of us just don't realize it is.
Yeah.
But we have that right. Mm-hmm. And we have to make sure we exercise that right.
Yes.
Men and women, there are men who struggle with that too.
Absolutely. A lot. We have tomorrow somebody coming on, the whole man. So Brother Dane is coming on tomorrow to talk about the Heart of a Man, the campaign that I'm doing with the Heart of a Man. Mm-hmm. And, more and more men are embracing the growth work. And I'm happy that they're joining aboard.
Absolutely.
We have a couple of minutes here. We have about 5 minutes here. And I really just want to really focus on your podcast, because you've got your podcast.
Yes, you're working hard on that.
Yes, that I just want to really, you are working hard to get the website up and everything else, but you've got the podcast going, and I really appreciate the fact that, more and more. So what COVID, I feel, has done is set people free to follow that dream, to follow that voice that they would have never had time for.
Right.
We're now getting to find purpose in the middle of us getting our lemons. We're making lemonade, and the women that are watching tonight, I know personally, are also making impact.
Right.
We're realizing an opportunity before us, and you've got your WTF here, and your opportunity before you to empower women.
And that's the whole purpose.
Right.
To empower others to say, look, I have to work on myself. It's my right, and I'm going to do it.
Right. Absolutely. And here we're going to do a podcast, and we're going to do it together, and we're going to share and drink Blue Mountain coffee together.
And we can drop some red wine in that as well. We have to balance it. We have to balance it.
So so we
and Nikki and my girlfriend and I have really had a good time, just understanding each other and learning about each other, and knowing that here we are rocking in the same boat. And I talk to my sisters, I talk to my friends, and a lot of us have very similar desires. But sometimes you just want that village to help us to get it done. And it makes it a lot easier when you realize that all of us are going the same place, in the same direction. It gives us that push. It gives,
absolutely.
Because we need that wind. We need that wind beneath our wings.
We really, I'm going to tell you, I could never have done this show. My responsibility for it was just getting started.
Right. And that's the key thing.
Right. Was getting started. And I would have never, ever, not taking that risk. And believe me, it wasn't easy in terms of their voices and everything else. But I realized, had I not taken the risk to start Tanya Talks, I would have missed out on meeting such amazing individuals and having some of the greatest conversations. And that's where my freedom was wow, it's easier than I thought.
But Tanya, more importantly, is your personal growth.
Right.
Your personal growth. I'm really very proud of you.
Thank you.
And it feels almost surreal that I'm on the Tanya Talk show. Really, I'm so very proud of you. And this would not have happened if you didn't take that first step.
Right.
But you had to believe in yourself.
Right.
To say, I am going to do it. And you did it.
And just have faith and put it out there that it will all kind of, that trust factor with it. And I think the freedom of letting go of trying to control it all. And trusting was another element of it. And, we could go into a whole other show with I Am Free, with that need to control versus trust, and following that gut feeling, that intuition that this is it. And this is what feeds you as well. So it was like, there are different layers to it and different moving parts to it. It's not just isolated into one thing.
Right.
But again, it's allowed me to have great conversation, have people share their stories, but it also has allowed me to meet people worldwide. And I was like, wow, I would have missed out on this.
At the touch of a button.
Right. So COVID has allowed technology to
bring us closer.
Absolutely. Because we would have never done it. We would have thought that we would have Zoom, God bless Zoom and Facebook and all that,
Right.
Because it has allowed us to do exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
So,
and I love it, Tanya. I love it. Just keep it going.
Yes. And let's support each other. So I let everybody know they can find you on Facebook and LinkedIn under Michelle Atkinson Williams, Instagram under Mish Willie, MICHWILLIE.
Yes.
And WTF, that's the project that you're involved with.
Yes.
You're co-founder, which represents what, the 50?
Yes.
Follow Michelle to get all the updates that you guys need. to follow her podcast, to listen to her podcast.
Yeah.
Let's just keep supporting each other to empower each other to change the narrative of our own life. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Tanya.
It was fun. It was
fun.
Yes. So join us tomorrow, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Join us tomorrow. We will have Soul Brother Dane on talking about the whole man. Remember to like and subscribe Tanya Talks 4. And also, if you're looking to take your life to the next level, please visit thetanyaexperience.com. Thank you once again for tuning in. Have a good night, everyone. Michelle, I love you, and we will be in touch. Take care.
Take care, Tanya.
Good night.
Bye.